Hello, my bookish besties, and welcome back. In today's episode, why do I always say episode? It's a video. In today's video, I think I watched too many of those like 2000s TV shows where they would say like last time on insert TV show here. So I just always am thinking in today's episode because, anywho, in today's video, I am doing my August wrap up. I literally cannot believe it's already August. My birthday is in September, and the fact that by the time this video goes up, my birthday is only going to be like 2 days away, that's crazy. But that does mean my September TBR is like pretty stacked, if I'm being honest, because, for your birthday month, you always have to do your best, strongest, most exciting TBR, because that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. But, anywho, let's go ahead and discuss the stats of what I read in August. Like usual, I have my stats written out here in front of me. In August, I read 8 books for a total of 3,319 pages. My average star rating was a 3.875, which I'm simultaneously surprised and not surprised about. I read 3 fantasy books, 3 fiction books, 1 romance book, and 1 YA book. Most of them I read by immersion reading. That's just how I read 99% of books nowadays. But I did read a surprising amount of them by like physically reading. Like I looked at a lot of books this month, guys. My favorite of the month was definitely The Way of Kings, and my least favorite was Daughter of the Pirate King, which kind of surprised me. But anywho, let's get into the reviews. The first book I finished in August was Wild Dark Shore. This is by Charlotte McConaughey. Yeah, that sounds right. I have a week in the life video, I think, where I kind of discuss this book a little bit. My book is like it's the jacket's not on there right. Hello, it's like sticky. Okay, there we go. But I think I'm not as impressed with this book as everyone else. Like literally everyone I know in real life that has read this book rated it 5 stars, said it was like life-changing. I personally rated it 3 stars. There are more questions I have than answers, and I just like I got this weird eerie feeling, not in like a ooh this is so cool and like profound way, but in like a this book is making me incredibly uncomfortable kind of way, and I just didn't enjoy that. I guess I should have seen it coming because basically this book is about a girl who washes up on shore to like a small island outside of Antarctica. And when she gets to the island, there's only a man and his couple of children there. So like the vibes were already weird, but the vibes in this one were like especially weird, and there were just so many dumb choices that the characters make in this story. And I'm sorry, I just didn't care for it very much. Like it wasn't bad. It just made me so irrationally angry, I physically can't rate it above a 3 stars. So, 3 stars. Anywho, next, during my 24-hour readathon back in August, I read Passion Project by London Sperry. This is actually a debut novel, and personally, I thought this was phenomenal. I rated it 5 stars. If you want to see footage of me literally sobbing, go ahead and watch my 24-hour readathon. I'll link it down below. But yeah, I thought this book was so incredibly well done, especially for a debut. I found this book oddly relatable too. Like it's about rediscovering the parts of life that you love and just my dog just hit my tripod. Anywho, it's about rediscovering yourself and your passions. Obviously, it's Passion Project, but yeah, I really, really liked this one. I was really surprised by it, and I would love to read whatever this author writes next. Oh, and also, if you know me in real life, you might understand why this book was low-key a little triggering for me, but we'll get to that at a later point. The next book I read in my 24-hour readathon is My Friends by Frederick Bachman. This is his newest release. It just came out this past summer. Let me see what I rated it. Okay. Yeah, I'm shocked by this rating, actually. I rated it a 5 stars. I think retrospectively this book is more like a 4.5, 4 for me. But I think I'll stick with the 5 stars just for, just because I can. It's my rules. This book is basically about a girl who's been obsessed with painting, this painting right here, her whole entire life. And eventually one day she meets the painter, the man who created this piece of art. and she gets the opportunity to basically hear his life story and learn a little bit about his friends that are featured in this painting. And so it's kind of like a literary fiction exploring life and what it means to be a friend and really know people. Like, what happens when you truly know someone to their core. I thought this book was really good. I don't think I loved it as much as literally everybody else, but like, it was still really profound and thought provoking. And there were lots and lots of lines in here that I was really moved by. Again, I discussed this pretty in depth during my 24-hour readathon, which, like I said, I'll link down below. So if you want like my full, super in depth thoughts, go ahead and watch that. But yeah, that's My Friends by Frederick Buckman. Next, I finished The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. If you do not know, this is book one of the Stormlight Archive. That is like his, best of the best fantasy series. I tabbed the heck out of this book. If you couldn't tell, I had such a good time reading it. I did just record and am going to post soon my like in-depth, like spoilery, well, there's a non-spoiler section too, but like my really in-depth thoughts on this. But just to quickly say a little bit here, this is definitely a 5-star read for me, and the fact that this is known as the worst book in the series to a lot of people is crazy, because this book was phenomenal. Like, what do you mean it was the worst? Like, it's going up from here. I don't think I can handle that. I do not think I have the brain capacity and the emotional with like bandwidth to deal with that. But yeah, this book was phenomenal. 5 stars. Basically, The Way of Kings is about, you follow 4 different POVs, and you're like just following them through this like war, and it's like you follow Dalinar. He's like a knight that's going a little crazy, but you're not quite sure why. And you follow his son Adolin as he tries to navigate what it means to be the son of a really strong war general, but also what it means to protect his father's reputation when he thinks his father might be going crazy. And you follow Kaladin, who is an ex-military guy turned slave, and you follow his story and what it means to like how his life has changed, like basically going from the top of society to the bottom. And then you follow Shallan. Her father has recently passed away, so she is trying to become the apprentice to this magic user to learn a little bit from her and maybe do some pretty not truthful things to try and help her family. Now that her father has passed away, they need money and support and all the good things. So you follow all of them, and I want to say there's one other main POV. Maybe Seth, you could count him as a main POV. He's like an assassin, like a trained hitman. But you follow all of them through their different paths, and basically, what does it mean to fight for your country when you're not really sure what you're fighting for? But yeah, this book was phenomenal. If you have not read anything by Brandon Sanderson, I obviously would highly recommend. After that, I read Daughter of the Pirate King. I rated this 2 stars. I genuinely couldn't tell you what it was about. I did not care at all. And I don't know if that's because I read it directly after The Way of Kings, like one of the best books I've ever read, or if it really is just this book. It's like a YA pirate book. My major issue with it, oh, it says it's a debut. That checks out. My major issue with it is our main character, Alosa. Is that her name? That sounds right. She spends like 90% of this book basically being like, "Ugh, I'm the strongest, most bad A like pirate that's ever existed, but I have to pretend I'm a weak girl so that nobody knows I'm so strong. Like, ugh." And just shut up. If you are that strong, like do something about it. So basically she goes undercover. Like, she pretends these guys kidnapped her when really it was her idea in the first place to be kidnapped. And then she spends like the whole book being like, oh, if only I could, get myself out of these bad situations and I could show them how strong I was. They would never treat me like this, but I can't because I'm undercover and they need to think I'm weak. And just, she brought that up so many times. And the romance in this made zero sense. Like, she goes from being like, oh, That's my enemy to being like, ooh, let's kiss. And I don't think I enjoyed a single thing about this book. 2 stars. If you liked it, let me know in the comments what I missed, because and I'm really disappointed because it was a duology and I really wanted to buy the second one, and now I regret even buying the first one. Anywho, after that, I hopped on back into the Arcanum Unbounded. I read The Sixth of the Dusk. It's like a short novella basically about this guy who lives on an island. He has kind of been alone on this island for a long time, but some people come, and he has been on this island alone raising this like breed of birds that's supposed to help. They have like magical capabilities, and he's like one of the watchers of the birds. But these people show up to shore basically wanting to know about the birds, like kidnap them, I guess. And it's like a very short novella about like what's going to happen now, like why are people on his island and all this stuff. It's a very odd novella though, because it was originally written as a standalone story. Like Brandon put so much thought into this for something that was gonna be just a little 70-page novella that never went anywhere, which is crazy because it was actually really, really good. And I'm super excited now to read Isles of the Emberdark. That is like what the expanded version of this story is. But yeah, I definitely think it's worth the read, especially now that Isles of the Emberdark has been published and will be available to the general public starting in like February or something like that. But I did think the novella was really good. It was really, really compelling. Like I said, it was a crazy story considering it was originally going to be like just that, just the 70 pages, move on. Like, it is crazy. I would highly recommend reading. I think you could read it without reading anything else of his too. I don't really know why you would want to, but it's still really good. So, yeah, I think I rated it 4 stars because, like I said, it was just a little novella that left me with so many questions that I'm really hoping get answered soon. After that, I picked up The Summer We Ran. This is by Audrey Ingram. This book is one of those weird ones where I rated it 4 stars, and like everyone else hates it, but I really enjoyed it. I think I just went into it knowing that it was like a messy, like dual timeline. Will they, won't they, are they cheating or are they not, kind of like past love, like a second chance trope almost. And I knew it had like messy politics in it too. And there was just something about this book that was so like, I can't find the word. It just kept me so intrigued the whole time, and I had a really, really good time reading this. I rated it 4 stars. Basically, it's about a couple. They had a whirlwind romance one summer when they were teenagers. I want to say, 17, 18 age range. But now, 20, 30 years later, they are both running for governor, and they have to deal with what happens when you know your component, but you also have a crazy, messy, complicated backstory with them. I thought this book was so good, but like also so bad. It was so hard to root for them because obviously they're both married now. That one of them has children, um, but their story was so complex, and I thought the way it wrapped up was handled well. Like there was never a part to me that felt like we were getting out of hand, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I would recommend it. It was short, it was a fun, easy read, but yeah, I think people are hating on it unnecessarily. I think people just don't like messy books. Okay, and then last but not least, I finished Once a Villain. I literally just finished this like 20 minutes ago. This is the conclusion to a Only a Monster trilogy, and I do not know what to say about this book because it is a new enough release that I don't really want to take anyone's opinions on it quite yet, but I will be honest, I think I'm going to rate this book 3 stars. This book started out really, 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 really strong, and then it just went so downhill so fast. There were a lot of pacing issues, and the characters just all, they felt so out of place in this book. Like, they were doing stuff, like, their behaviors just didn't seem like them anymore, and that really bothered me. yeah, I can't really say too much about it without it being spoilers, especially with this being the third book in a series. I would still recommend the series, but just know the ending, it's a little unsatisfying and it's kind of crazy. But the first two books are genuinely phenomenal. Only a Monster and Never a Hero I loved very, very much. This one just didn't hit for me, which was super disappointing because this was one of my most anticipated releases for this year. But oh well, that's just how the cookie crumbles. You can't be obsessed with literally every book. But anywho, thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below what you read in August and what you're planning to read in September. I am going to be posting really, really soon a video about my rest of the year TBR. I have a pretty rigid schedule, I guess. Instead of doing a monthly TBR, I've basically set out a whole entire year TBR for the next 4 months. To try to meet some goals. I'm still trying to read all of the Cosmere before Dragonsteel Nexus this December, so in order to do that I have to really, really plan out the rest of my year. So I do plan to post my rest of the year TBR video here soon. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so thankful that you're here and that you're supporting me. Go ahead and leave me a like and subscribe. That would be so cool and I would appreciate you forever. But anywho, thank you guys very, very much and I will see you in the next one.